Here's how to be more creative as a young, ambitious writer. Step number 1, the 2-sentence rule. You come to this video knowing that you don't have all the tools you need. You're creatively lacking or burnt out to some degree, maybe because of AI, social media, or any kind of outlet. In my own case, I've experienced this many times, but one of the largest ways I continue to get back to writing is the 2-sentence rule. The 2-sentence rule is similar to the 3-sentence rule I mentioned a while ago, but this one breaks it down to 2 sentences and, better yet, just 20 words. Imagine those 2 sentences. You have a hook and you have an answer. One sets up something going on while the other one answers the first sentence. Whatever way you set it up, this will not only increase your creativity just by breaking down and limiting where you are, but it also gives you a moment to breathe. Just write it down. Write it down somewhere on a piece of paper or a Google Doc or something. Write down just a sentence. It could be something as simple as, I went bicycle riding the other day. It doesn't have to be something grand or big. We're separating this from the book, but we can get this involved in whatever writing piece you're doing. So, I rode a bicycle today. Following that, you should then go into, and then it hit me, or something a lot more mysterious. You're trying to be more subtle and vague with your answer, but given this situation, it allows you to say some things that you couldn't say whenever you're writing. The way the 2-sentence structure is, we need to have it be 20 words or less so that you can not only limit yourself in an idea. It isn't going to be a permanent idea, no, but it does give you a creative ounce. By breaking it down and limiting these words, just 20 words in general, you have something to go off of. And then you could use that sentence for whatever you're writing on. So to always be more creative, it's really just breaking it down to step by step by step. And by then, you will have a full-on sentence. Before you know it, you have a paragraph, and before you know it, you have pages. That's how you stay more creative in this field of writing. That's just one of the ways. There's many ways to go about it, and I'm here to show you 4 more ways after this major one. The second step is to nurture your nature. Nurturing your nature is the easiest way to understand how creative habits happen. Habits are what we do each and every day. They're simple but can and will get complicated. The point of habits is to see where you do and what you do at a specific time and place, and this involves your writing. As a young, ambitious writer, you need to understand why you write in the first place and what you're doing with that time. By breaking it down into what you do, nurturing, as in taking care of your nature, your habits, you will have a better chance of looking into writing and being a lot more creative. I noticed with my writing, especially when I wrote my first book, that there was a lot of points that I didn't come across all too great, mainly because they were written in times where it isn't as well. Obviously, have the discipline to write, and that's what I'm here for, to help you, guide you to do this writing in the first place. But you need to understand doing it the best possible ability you can, just so you don't produce absolute garbage and something that you won't be proud of. Now, if it's a first draft, then that's great. But if it's something a lot more technical and has some sort of finale to it, then I'd say it's good to just continue writing. But for those of first drafts, it's okay to look into what you do in your free time so that you could produce the best work. By breaking it down and seeing where you are in your life, I'm telling you, this will be the best way to stay creative, as you'll have more fuel for your brain. Picture your brain like a battery gauge. The more you use it, the more it eventually takes up. Habits take up little parts of that brain, whether it's quarters to halves to eighths, and whatever it does then, it will give you more space to just write. However you break up your time, there will be periods in which you'll have some of the best writing, some of the worst writing, and whatever is in between. And by nurturing your nature, you'll be easily above that line from being just a good writer to a creative and successful writer like you see with myself here. Step number 3. Work advantage. The work advantage is the best use of your time and space. Now, if you come to this video, you are a young, ambitious writer, someone in your teens, early 20s, and even if you can count late 20s to some degree. While you may not be as ambitious as you were younger, per se, you do have an advantage, and that is work or school. This building advantage is the best advantage I notice in my own free time now that I'm growing up and getting jobs in school. I've been using everywhere I go to as the best advantage I can. If you're lacking creativity or burnt out, it's really the idea of being present. The key to creativity is presence, and how you can do that is by taking in the time and place you go to these things. Like nurturing your nature, you need to see where you're doing it at the right time and right place, and this involves work or school as well. Take in the scenes, the windows, the buildings, the letters of your company, or whatever you're working or going to school at. It allows you to see what's going on and to use that to your advantage. It could be something simple as just the walls are blue, but you can continue expanding on that. The more you hear my words and copying the type of mannerisms I say. Because with writing, you need to see how well every word lines up back and forth, and that can lead to burnt out periods like you are yourself in this position now. And we don't want that in your writing. We want to be consistent and easily flowing, whether it's a book or an article. No matter what type of writer you are, we need to make sure that you do everything in your power to write. And by using your work advantage, by having these many different sceneries, details around you, that should fuel the creative brain. And it's putting that problem and solution. As well as presence, creativity is breaking it down into a problem and solution. By taking in those examples, you can then fuel whatever story or writing piece you're doing. And once you figure that out, you should be easily successful in this field of writing, no matter how much time or patience you take, all because you're using your work and your presence environment, the real place you see here, to your advantage. Step number 4, the 5 senses. Everyone has 5 senses. You all know them. You've known them since elementary school. Taste, touch, smelling, and hearing, and seeing. Those are all the 5 senses we need to understand with this, and breaking it down into what you do well with those is the best way you can describe things. Creativity is that problem and solution, and many of which involves too many words or too many cluttered details. This is where you could use other habits and steps in this video to your advantage, whether it's the 2-sentence rule or nurturing your nature. By understanding how well those work, you will see the 5 senses to your best ability. It's a lot like the work advantage in that wherever you go and wherever space you have, the 5 senses are the best you could do because they're everywhere. You see it with your eyes, you hear it with your ears, you speak it with your mouth. And by knowing what you do with that space, it gives you all the power to continue writing and continue revising and editing. The reason why you're lacking creativity is because you're just lazy in looking in the details. You don't know where you're looking for. So start with the place you have. And it can be just a hand, just an eye, just an ear, or just something along the lips. If you get what I'm saying, then you can see the 5 senses and use that to your best ability. Be creative with what you describe. Go at it with it, no matter if you're doing a fictional story or more technical writing pieces. The 5th and final step you need to understand as a young, ambitious writer is the fiction advantage. You've read books before. They're the reason why you have started writing. If not, then there's multiple other reasons why, but books are the biggest key to you, especially fiction books for those that grew up with it. Nonfiction is great in this as well, but fiction books have a way and manner to be used. It can be some of the best themes, stories, and just wordings in general that could let you to write better. And to be more creative, it's taking in those other inspirations, copying and pasting them in your own unique way, not plagiarizing it, but taking in that inspiration. That's what I call the fiction advantage. This fiction advantage comes in many different forms. For instance, if you want to write a more traditional sci-fi novel with some dystopian themes, use 1984 as your groundwork. It's one of the best places to start, and it's using what you read to your advantage. Obviously, use the books around you, but there's many famous literature from the big to the small that can allow you to write so much better. For instance, A Small Composition of Broken is another example, but for fictional and more poetic stories. Either way, one of those allows you to just tell better stories. Hell, you could use personal books themselves, like How to Tell a Story. Whatever the case is, allowing yourself to just read, take in this information, and write is the best tip I've learned, and it's the best one I've been using in recent memory. It's the one I guarantee you will continue having creativity in. And the books I'm reading now are fueling future books I have for this year, next year, and all the way up to my senior year in high school. Understanding how far I'm getting is going to take a while, but I hope this helps you understand creativity and how important it is. So get off your lazy bum and just continue writing, because I know you can do infinitely better than where you started. No matter if you're the 9-to-5 worker, the student in high school or college, or just someone out there wanting to write a book. If you want to contact me personally, check me out on my Instagram down below to DM me right. If you want to see how I continue writing these books, my books are down there in the description. Fuel them with your own writing and reading, just in case if you don't have any ideas. And until next time, keep on writing and take care. Mwah.